Hello everybody, and I'm so excited to be back. My name is Master X101, and I'm very much appreciative of any of you who still care enough to watch this video. And I hate to say that I'm coming back on such a sour note. Hopefully the short that I had planned to come out first will come out first. Well, if I plan it to come out first, it should come out first. We'll come back at that. But, I'm excited to say that I'm branching out from the last time I did 6 videos on Junji Ito's works, which I have them all kind of stacked here, which I will continue on these because I feel like I don't see much of any kind of highlight for them, but this one's going to be a little bit different. If you've kind of guessed by the title, we'll be talking about the new Black Clover movie. Yeah. First off the rip, I'll say this, spoiler warning. If you want to watch the movie, it's alright, I guess, is the best way of saying it. If you love the animation, go ahead and go watch it. But, and also, I guess, a good note to say, spoilers for the actual show as well, because I'll probably mention bits from that are a bit important. Now, I guess, down to the nitty-gritty of it, I'll get straight to the point. It's mid, like, it's not great. And as like a disclaimer, I'm not saying that I hate Black Clover. I love Black Clover as an anime. It is a fantastic show. But the movie, specifically Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King, is really not that well done. The animation, though, is immaculate. I would love to see that animation, but on a really good story at the end of the day. But you get one or the other, apparently, with this movie. It adds a lot, like lore-wise, it adds some new stuff that you wouldn't have known, and it could have done it so well to, like, add in a bit more so you can understand stuff. Like, the 4 main villains of this, like, movie, every one of them is a previous Wizard King, so that being said, if each one of them is a Wizard King, there should be some kind of information about them. The main antagonist there is, at the very beginning of the movie, it opens with like a 10 years ago moment. And it's like here's what happened, and it's just before Julius becomes the Wizard King. He fights the previous Wizard King, which the previous Wizard King wanted to destroy the world. It never goes into depth until the last 10 minutes why he did that. The other 3, one of them has a bit of a backstory moment where it like shows like maybe 5 to 10 seconds of him laying in like a burning village reaching towards someone. With the main antagonist Conrad, it shows like again, like it's a really, like, it's in the middle of a fight, so you're not, it's like those backstory moments in like most shonen anime where it's like, it's in the middle of the fight, show a little backstory. But usually, in most of them, it's longer. For this one, it's like 5 seconds, and you see like somebody who's dying, and there's not much of an assumption any other way with that. The pacing is another thing with it. It starts off with like the backstory bit, which is understandable, and then it opens up with I believe it's something called the Triumph or something like that, which is like basically it's supposed to be like a tournament arc, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting. And they bring out Asta. The timing of it is also a bit weird because it's kind of, I guess the best way to describe it is between Asta basically getting exiled and them going to the Heart Kingdom, or after, like, during the training of the Heart Kingdom for a bit there, because he comes back in his, like, his post-time skip form, and it's kind of like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And then as soon as the fight starts, like the fight between Yuno and Asta, because it's like, oh, they were chose to be against each other in this tournament. Which, I mean, is a great opener, I guess, for the tournament, because everyone's excited to see that fight. But, sad to say, it gets cut short, which, it makes sense. You cut short a moment because there's something more important to say, which with this is the villains appear, and it is Conrad plus 3 other Wizard Kings. One's main power is like they make crystals and stuff. I believe, like, he calls it voodoo magic. That's what what he calls it, but I'm not certain. The other guy uses ice magic, and the third one, she uses, I guess the best way to describe it is like conjuration kind of stuff, because she makes soldiers that are quite really strong and just kind of sends them out into battle. Each one of the Wizard Kings, except for one, I think, gets like that 10 seconds of here's a little bit of their backstory. With hers was like she was brutal, and so no one wanted to be around her. As with the ice dude, his thing was he was like laying in a burning village, reaching toward a door as like blood leaked out down the steps. There's not enough information about either of them to understand why they did what they did, or I'm assuming it's a lot of inferences you have to make, which I guess it could be a good thing with the movie. Like I said, the animation is impeccable, but like I said, with Conrad, it does not give any information why he wants to destroy the world. It's just kind of, he wants to destroy the world to make a new one because the current one's bad. Okay, well, why did you come to that as your conclusion instead of trying to change the world? Because apparently there's a lot of parallels between Conrad and Asta, which is, to say the least, both of their like, it's a quote that Asta says. He says, "My magic is never giving up." Well, Conrad was the same way until a certain event changed the tide of the story, which you learn at the very end. His wife dies, or he and his wife and a few friends of theirs are accused of treason. But after they kill his friends and his wife, turns out he didn't commit any treason, so that happens. And originally, whenever I heard about this movie coming out, my first initial thought was, oh, are they going to do like an Attack on Titan with it and they're going to finish it off with movie? No. Because this is kind of like, it's set weird. Also, earlier I mentioned pacing, and this is kind of the best way to describe this, but there's a fight going on there near the end of the movie. The groups get split up into 3, fighting 3 different of the Wizard Kings, where Asta himself goes to face Conrad. Asta goes to face Conrad is probably it's a really beautifully animated fight. Other than that, it's all right. Yuno fights the crystal guy. All of the Black Bulls fight good old Iceman, to which at the end of it, Noel gives him like a speech about how you more or less how a noble should act, because the guy hated nobles. I'm assuming his village was destroyed by nobles and he was originally a peasant, which that's probably why he wanted to do this. But yet again, it's an inference. It's never stated, but it is stated that he hates nobles. Whew. Asta and Conrad's fight is good. And then there is my favorite one, which is, man, I can't pronounce her name. It's Fuegolion's sister. I'll put her name like down in the bottom because I can't pronounce it well. I hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then I go to say it and it's like I see the word in my head and it's like it's not coming out. But her fight is the one that I was excited for. And the fight ramps up and like it's going, and then it legitimately, she goes to throw a punch at the Wizard King and it smash cuts away. Like by smash cut I mean one frame is her about to get hit with a fiery punch to welcome back to Amethyst Guy versus Yuno. You're like, you don't get a second to breathe. And then there's another moment of it where it's just smash cut straight back to the other one. And the smash cut back is Figolian's her laid out on the sand looking like she's about dead. So you telling me that this really cool fight that I was excited for just gets like cut out, and then she stands back up and she goes back to fighting, and then it does it again. Smash cuts back to Ice Dude in their fight, which is, it's more of a like talk no jutsu fight until like Asta finally gets a hit on Conrad. Whenever Asta gets that hit on Conrad, Noelle gets her magic back because Conrad has an ability where he can take people's magic. Wildin'. He just nice. And then he has their magic, like has their, like they can't cast spells, but they can still make the element apparently, because Noelle can make water, so just makes water. Gets transmuted into lava with Gray's ability, which is fantastic use of like what you have. There are moments in this movie that are fantastic. That's why I say it's mid. Because if mid can mean multiple things, so there's 3 definitions in my opinion. It's bad, it's a 5 out of 10, or it's absolutely terrible. Like it's alright, it's a 5 out of 10, it's terrible. Because the direct description of mid should be middle of the way. And most people, whenever they're doing like a ranking, it's a 1 of 10. Put it at a 5, that's the middle, or it's mid. Enough of semantics of mid, I guess, but it's animated well, and there are moments where it gives you some information. But if you're paying for Netflix to watch this movie, I feel like you wasted 2 hours kind of thing on that. But you know, Netflix, I don't know how much it is these days. I'll throw up something that says the prices, but you know, hey, if you're paying for any of those kind of subscriptions and you pick this to spend 2 hours watching, unless, hey, I am not downplaying anyone who might actually enjoy this movie, because hey, anyone can enjoy any kind of movie. I didn't enjoy this one, but here recently I watched what is it called? The Heavensfield movies for Fate. At some point I want to do a video on Fate and like where to start it. Because I've been asked by so many people, oh, I've been wanting to get into Fate, but I don't know where to start it. So I'm gonna do that. I might make it like a meme-y kind of video. I don't know. I was told to start with a visual novel. I didn't finish it. I played it a bit and died a few times and was like, oh well, maybe I'm not meant to play video games. So I'm bad at video games. Not great at them. Overall, I will probably rewatch it to see if there's anything that I could say that makes it a better movie than it is. But at this current juncture, I think I just gotta stick with my opinion on it. It's not very good. The few redeeming moments of it is like, what was it? At the very end, you know, like in most shonen anime, where there's a really big fight scene, and the hero goes forth to like fight the bad guy, and it's like, this is the hype moment. It has one of those where it like plays the intro theme. Usually they play the first intro theme because that's the one you tie with the story. Preferably there's a lot better openings to Black Clover than the first one. But hey, if you love the first opening of Black Clover, I will not discredit you because they're almost all bangers. I think there was just one that I didn't like, and it might have been the very last season's. So, you know, hey, can't all be bangers. But that one definitely isn't the best one. But I those moments I love. In this movie, that was probably my favorite moment, was the opening starts playing and you're getting hype for something. But at the back of my mind, I'm like, this is the hypest moment of this 2 hours I've spent watching. If they would have put this singular fight in a 30-minute episode, would have loved it. I feel like there's a lot of undiscussed plot with it, which could have made it better, but there wasn't. So I guess all in all, I give it like a 4 out of 10. It's lower than mid, if that makes you feel better, in my opinion. But hey, my opinion matters just as much as a grain of sand on a beach. But somebody's gonna get mad about it, and that's what I'm here for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for the next plenty to come. I'll be coming out with a few shorts as well, shorts, plus I will be posting some on TikTok with some stories involving, the last review I did on the channel was of Junji Ito's Face Thief, and I think I might have figured out what the creature was in it. But, you know, catch those shorts and you'll figure out what it is. Alright, y'all have a good one.